Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the 1000 Toys Sentinel Ronin Warriors Sage of the Halo. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see a really great image of the figure with the whole background green motif. And if we turn the box around, we can see multiple images and panels showcasing the figure in multiple posing positions with his different interchangeable parts and accessories. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this figure open and let him breathe. So here is Sage fresh out of the box without any of his armor, just bare with like that more undersuit. And I love this, man. Again, I love Ronin Warriors. That was one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. And I love the way this looks. I feel like these are just amazing figures. 1000 Toys, man, again, they do some amazing, incredible stuff, and I really dig their product. This head sculpt looks really great. I love the windswept hair over the one eye, looking really rad. The hair itself, again, just looks totally anime. It does have a little bit of that airbrushing in there to give it those two-tone colors. Again, it looks really, really good in my opinion, so I love that a lot. The armor looks really good too. Got the bits of white. It is a little more of like bits of green, excuse me, and a little bit of an off-white on there. It's almost like a very light gray, you can almost white. That looks really cool too. All the panel lining in there. The armor bits look really nice. The feet look awesome. I mean, this is a great looking figure, man. I'm so happy that they're actually completing the whole team here. I have to get the whole team. Again, I love that cartoon. That anime was so good, and I'm so stoked to finally have these amazing figures in my collection, man. So really, really happy about this guy. So as far as accessories go, we do get things like interchangeable hands. You can see he has close-fisted hands right there straight out of the box. We do get things like gripping hands for holding his weapons, for his his swords and things like that. We do get open palm hands like so. And then we do get more like angled gripping hands for like holding his sword a little more forward, which is really nice. This little panel right here on the back of the wrist, a little armor bit right here, actually does come off. So it's meant to, you just use the same panel for each hand that you want to put on, and then it'll work out really good, so that way it always looks like it's armored up. So I do dig that. We also, of course, get interchangeable face plates. You get a more face right there, kind of looking to the side, a little angry like that. We also get one with a more yelling face, which looks really cool, so I dig that. And then we get one for when he's actually armored up. We get one with that little whole mask going over the face, looking super dope, so I love that a lot. And then we get this hair piece right here. This is also for when he's armored up, and I'll show you what that is for shortly. But this whole section right here is going to come off. If I could do it without things flying everywhere like that. See, the hair is just on a little peg like so. And then we'll take that faceplate off like that. And then we'll get one. Let's put the one of him yelling on like that. Do this on here. It's a little tricky. It's a little tight at first like that. And then we can just put the hair back on again. My fat fingers will never hold anything, man. So like that. There you go. Now he's more yelling, which looks really cool. So I dig that a lot, man. So I do have a ton more accessories here, and I'll show you those shortly. Of course, he comes with the armor, and I'm going to try and show those a bit while I'm trying to put them on, but I'm going to do most of that off of camera. So a really fun accessory that we're getting with all of these figures are these little mannequins. They're almost kind of like bonus figures, but note that these are positioned in the seated position like that, so you're not going to really pose them around too much. There is posability though. The arms can go up and down, and then they kind of like rotate, and these do come off fairly easily. But you can rotate there up the bicep, and then that's pretty much it, you know, really just in the arms. And that's more or less to help when you do armor him up, and trust me, it's going to be a pain in the butt. I'm going to do it off camera, but you kind of have to like maneuver the arms around and position things around while you're adding the armor on, and then you can just put him in that seated position with his arms like resting on his lap there. So they're mostly for functionality when it comes to armoring him up, and it looks really cool. I do love the fact that they even got this in there again with all of them. I think it's really rad. So now let's go ahead and armor up the mannequin and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so now here's the mannequin all dressed up, looking pretty cool. Again, this figure is in a seated position, so there's really only one way to, you know, I guess really display it. Again, it does have a little bit of articulation, but this is how you're going to want to do it. And it also comes with a little chair here that it can sit on, a little stool, which is really nice. And you'll just sit him on there and you can display him like that. You'll see pictures of that later on. But that's really cool, man. I love the options of having to do this, you know, because that was in the cartoons just like this. That's how they had their armor before they suited up. So I think it's really cool. I don't know if I'll display it like this, but it is a fun option. And maybe lining all the suits up like this on their little benches will look really awesome. But I love this, man. It just looks so good and gets me even more hyped to armor up the figure itself. Okay, so now I'm going to try and put some of this armor on while on camera. It's a real tricky and real finicky, and it can kind of take a while, so I'm not going to do it all. But we have the back plate here for the back of, well, back of his back. I don't know what you want to call it. And this piece will come off right here, dead in the center. You can take that off right there, and you can actually put in this little extra piece that it comes with in there, like so. That right there, and that's going to be for holstering his weapon later on, so we'll just save that right there. I'm going to kind of put these arms up like that. We're going to get the front torso piece like this, kind of just over like that. Actually, you know what you got to do, actually, these white shoulder pads right here, you're going to have to pull those off first. Those do come off, and you're going to have to replace them with the actual armor like that. Okay, now let's put this on right there. Oh my god, I feel like this is going to be such a pain in the butt, so bear with me here. I'm trying, folks. I'm really trying. And again, my fat fingers do not help me. So I'm going to do this like that. There, make sure it's clipped on to the sides like so. Like that. Okay, that's on pretty good. Like that. Okay, good. One of the trickier parts is going to be the skirt piece here. Because they have these little bars right here. So, and I believe, I don't know, are these marked? Usually they're marked left and right. I think it's if you can see the little notches on the sides right here, I think the thinner one is the one that goes towards the front, if I'm doing that correctly. We're going to find out here momentarily. Like this. Or does it go lower? Yeah, I think it goes lower. And then they will peg on two little sections like that. Man, the good thing is that these pieces right here that do where it does connect, like that. Let me see if I can get this in there to clip on a little bit better. Anyways, there is a little section piece right here that's going to kind of like hold them in place like that. There we go. So that's going to hold those in place. Same thing with the front here. You got this little section with the little gold trim that's going to be in front of his crotch area right there. That, this, it's a little tight right there, but that actually works out very good. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So you can already see where this is going, man. Pretty good. I feel like I might as well just, I don't know, should I just put everything on camera? We'll see how this goes until I start really struggling. I'm just, these shoulder pads have little notches in there like that. They're going to clip into that section right there. So let me see if these can be a pain in the butt, man. I think the shoulders and the skirt piece can be the most difficult. Actually, that's not too bad right there. Okay, good. We're actually doing a lot better than I thought I was going to do. No freaking joke. So we're going to get that one on right there. If I can get that like that. Come on, don't be a butt face. Don't be a butt face. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh my god, and I'm so dumb. It can just come from the top because there's a little slot where you can just push them up from the top and then push them down. Oh my gosh, I'm a moron. So, oh boy. Feel free to make fun of me in the comments. I get it, man. I'm about to make fun of myself right now because I'm ridiculous. Anyways, we got these forearm pieces. Are these forearm pieces? I think so. So these armor bits right here should be able to come off like that as well. And then you're going to go ahead and replace them with these other forearm pieces. And I believe these are marked specifically to go a certain way. So you can put those on like that. And then these ones come off on this side, like so. Are you guys sick of me doing this yet? I feel like I'm sick of me doing this. I feel like I'm just like taking forever. So again, I hope this makes for good content. Otherwise, I look like a moron. There. And then these leg pieces are actually just on magnets. I think that's really cool. So these go on fairly easily like that. That's really cool. And then I think that's it. I don't think, did these go on separately? Or is those just for the, yeah, because you do get these extra feet pieces right here. But I believe those are just for the mannequin section. And then you don't need anything else like that. So actually, I mean, there we go. He's pretty much fully armored up. And I did that a lot better than I thought I was going to. So then what you're going to do, you're going to pop up the head. Just a little straight peg like so. We do get the helmeted head like that. And this will pop on directly on, they just go on the straight peg. Oh, actually, since I'm kind of a moron, let me see, let me figure this out. Okay, yeah, I thought so. So if you see there's a little C section, or C section, a little C slit right in there, and that little extra hair piece has that little C like that, you're gonna actually put that in the helmet like so, because it's meant to be like he's actually wearing the helmet and that his hair is kind of like sticking out. So I don't even know if I'm getting that in there properly. I feel like I'm not. So hopefully that's right. And then we could just take the helmet like this and then slide it on. Try and do this. It's a little tricky like there. Boom. Does that work? Yeah, dude, that works. So you can see like it looks like his hair is kind of sticking out the back like that. So I think that looks super rad, man. Oh yes, so much freaking yes. So the actual helmet itself does split like so, and it's really tight, so you just got to give it a good little tug and just kind of work it out without actually breaking it. And you can still use like these other faces that we could put on with the other, just the standard head like that. So if you want to just have the helmet with no mask, you do that. Or if you want, you can use, which you see a lot in the actual anime. You see this one right here with like the half mask like that, and put it on there, kind of looking like Dr. Doom, you know what I mean? So you could do that as well. And obviously put the hair back on like that. But you could do something like that, and there's kind of all kinds of different ways you could do that. But I love the fact that you can use those faceplates for the helmeted head and the unhelmeted head. So I think that's really, really cool. So I think for my display, I'm going to go with him with like the full face showing through the actual helmet, because that's kind of how I have right here, Rio here, same style, like that, just with the full face peeking through the helmet. So I like that look a lot. So I think I'm going to go with that one right there. Now for his final accessory, we actually do get his sword, which is ginormous. You can see how huge this sword is compared to the actual figure. If my camera would actually focus, you can see at the bottom of the feet right there, all the way up, it is actually taller than him. And that peg that we put on there like that, it is actually for the back of the figure like so. Now it showed, it's supposed to go on like that, and then kind of like rotate a little bit like so. You're supposed to rotate it on the back like that, and it will hold onto place like that, which is pretty amazing, man. I love the way that looks. Or how what's really cool is how I use it in the show. You can actually take this apart, and you could take this separately. How he used it as a shuriken sometimes, or he used this section of the handle as like a kunai, or in a separate blade right here. So however you want to do it, I think it's awesome that we got the options, because I love this weapon. Again, how it had multiple functionalities. Really nice color in the silver with that like purplish handle with the shuriken like that in the gold. Looks really rad, man. So I'm just loving every bit of this figure, dude. Again, love Ronin Warriors so much. So having these great figures from 1000 Toys just makes me super happy. Okay, so I decided to show the articulation here with the armor on, because I think most of us are going to be displaying him with the armor itself. So I also feel like, do I have these shoulder pads backwards? I can't remember if these things go towards the front or the back. I probably have them backwards, so that's probably a big fault of mine. But anyways, like I said, I feel like most people are going to have them displayed with the armor, so things are going to be hindered here and there. So obviously he's going to have more articulation without it. But let's run it down here. Again, the head and the neck are on ball joints, so you got a lot of good motion there. It does turn left and right. You can get a pretty good clearance, even with that helmet. It kind of goes over those little shoulder areas like that. Kind of looks up and down a bit and pivot side to side, so decent motion. Arms can go full 360 like so. We get up about that far. These are on little hinges as well as in here they're on separate little hinges, so you can kind of maneuver things around to get up like there. And we do get a butterfly joint in the shoulder like that. We do get a bicep swivel. We got double jointed elbows, work very, very nicely. A rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. We do get a ball peg at the midsection, so that rolls around, does rotate, pivot side to side, and crunches back and forth a little bit. These skirt pieces will come out a tiny bit, so you can kick forward about that much, back about that far, splits out about that much without hitting the little skirt piece right there. Rotation in the upper thigh. We got double jointed knees that work very, very nicely. Ankles can go up, down, sweet ankle rocker, toe articulation, and one of my favorite personal things, honestly, is this right here. The back of the heel comes down. I cannot even begin to explain how important that is when you're posing this figure around. Same thing with Rio of the Wildfire. He has this too. This is so imperative for balancing. I love this so much. Now, of course, it's not going to work on every figure. It works for these, but I love this, man. It adds so much. And when you get these in hand, you'll know exactly what I mean, how important those are. So the articulation works very well. God, I love this piece. I love the first one. I'm so excited to get the whole crew. I mean, he's a gorgeous looking figure from an amazing cartoon, and for me, he is definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and NECA Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the 1000 Toys Rio of the Wildfire. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of Sage of the Halo. Now overall, this is a beautiful figure, and again, 1000 Toys just makes some of the best quality action figures I have ever owned, and this figure is no different. The articulation works very well, especially without the bulky armor, so that's to be expected. I love the paint. The paint is super clean, some of the cleanest paint in all of action figures. I love the sculpt of all the different faces and the hair. The armor looks gorgeous and polished. I love the fact that he even comes with the little mannequins where you could display the armor separately. I think that's really cool too. I love his sword that could break apart into 3 pieces. I think that's really rad. I mean, man, I love Ronin Warriors as a kid, and I even had those vintage toys from the early 90s, and as an adult, I was always dying to get better action figures, and yeah, there were some before, but those got a little too expensive and out of my price range, so luckily I've been grabbing these since the beginning, and they are so amazing. I know they're a tad expensive, I get it, but they are worth it. They are some of my favorite action figure this line, and I cannot wait to own the entire team because they've already announced the entire team. Now we're just waiting for them to get here and pre-orders to go up and all that good stuff. So I highly recommend him. If you're a Ronin Warriors fan like I am, he is definitely a must get. So be excellent to each other and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.